Liverpool, England.
Greatest city on earth. 2 football teams, 2 cathedrals, the Beatles, Steven Gerrard.
Oh, Steven Gerrard!
Forget Liverpool, forget Everton. We get behind each and every individual.
What we're seeing now is the pinnacle of MMA in Liverpool, in my opinion.
There's a lot of history in Liverpool. Liverpool is a very historic place. Can I have a little part of that with people like Darren Till?
Liverpool's Darren Till truly believes he will become the next English-born UFC champion.
You know, after so many years, it was meant to come Darren Till. I am simply the best fighter alive.
If a fighter can talk and fight, you've got to sell it.
Darren Till shocks the world!
Do not doubt me ever again.
Till can talk the talk, but more importantly, he can walk the walk.
As a sporting city, Liverpool's history obviously dates back to the time when it was, one of the biggest seaports in the world. So much industry, so many people and so much money that obviously top-level sport naturally followed. The city, of course, is very much a footballing city, or at least it was. Modern day right now, what's bringing the crowds in and what's really entertaining the people of this city is fighting.
Who wants in next? Someone else in cage? Who wants to jump in the cage? What? Jump in. Whoever wants it. I remember the day Darren first walked in. He walked in quite sheepish, quite polite, quite respectful, but he was actually coming for a private lesson. He wanted to learn a bit of ground stuff.
Calbon at the time was awash with UFC stars. The mats were literally filled with world-class fighters, yet Darren straight away homed in on Terry Etim. Terry Etim was the star of the city at the time, and he knew this was the fight he was going to learn most from.
When he first came in, me and him were doing private sessions together, doing ground and stuff, and he was picking it up quick, he was doing everything. Then he started coming to the nighttime classes, and straight away he was already very, very talented. He had that spark, he had that talent about him, all the right things you need to be a really great fighter.
Come onto the mat with men, and he'd fight men as a kid, and we'd fight him back. He's always been a big lump, so we'd fight him back. We wouldn't treat him as a kid, we'd treat him as a man. So you're fighting men from a child's age. When you're finally a man, there's nothing to be scared of.
I remember coming to Calbon, and I remember I had to come in at 17 and earn me respect. So the first sparring session, Terry dropped me 3 times, but I gave it back as well, even at 17, and there was no way I was bowing down to no one. That was not happening.
As well as an avenue to pursue his own competitive spirit, I think Darren Till was looking for a mentor. He was looking for the type of head coach that can steer him in the right direction and tell him where his career needs to go. And he couldn't have found a better coach than Colin Heron. He was tried and trusted. He's been doing this for 30 odd years. He'd had numerous fighters in the UFC, and that was the way he ran his gym. It's his way or the highway. Colin's always been like that. That's how Team Calbon works.
At that point, I wouldn't listen to anyone. There's no man on this earth I fear apart from Colin. There's no man. I don't fear my dad. I don't fear anyone.
Darren Till, even though he was this young, promising athlete, he obviously became a little bit of a target for people in this city as well. And for all the good work that Colin was doing inside the gym, obviously outside of the gym there was other distractions, there was friends, there was partying, there was going out, there was being a young man. And unfortunately at some stage that all came to a head and it caught up with Darren.
In the city, you're only 5 minutes away from a situation. Now, Darren being the type of person Darren is, if Darren's involved in that situation and he feels like he's at risk, his friends are at risk, he's going to react.
I'd finished my week of training, and then on, I think it was the Saturday, I was out with my mates, we were drinking, we were in a few nightclubs here and there, and I remember my mates getting into a fight, and I obviously went there to back them up, and I think the whole club at that point was fighting, and I got the back end of it. I think people saw me as a threat. I wasn't dropping off no one, and I got stabbed twice, in the back. So, I went out that night just thinking it was going to be a good night, and I could not have come home to my mum or anyone. Luckily I did, but we just take life for granted, and that was one instance in my life where I nearly, you know, didn't have a life anymore.
Quite good friends with the head of A&E in Liverpool, and he rang me just to let me know, look, something bad's happened. Darren's been stabbed in a pretty bad way, and he only wants to talk to you. I've been not expecting it, not waiting for it, but it wasn't a major surprise that an incident's happened involving Darren.
Me and Colin just had a chat, you know, for like half an hour, and Colin said, you know, if you want to be a champion, there's certain sacrifices and things that need to be made, and right now he didn't feel like Liverpool was the right place for me to be.
I said, I've spoke to my friends in Brazil. They're already expecting you. You know, I'd like you to go there. I'd like you to stay there, train, relax, sit back, plan your career.
You show me another coach that would take their prized prospect, their prized asset, and put him on a one-way flight to another country on the other side of the world. Show me another coach that would do that. That speaks volumes of Colin Heron and the type of coach that he is.
You have to find a way to fit in, be accepted, then adapt, then excel.
I was adapting to new languages, I was adapting to new people, to new fighters, you know, wanting to take my head off. I'd done all of that without Colin. Colin wasn't in my corner giving me advice.
Every single afternoon we had a time where he would ring me. What do we do in training today? I said, who's the best person in that room? He'd tell me a name. Then you go and give that person the hardest day he's ever had. And then you ring me back and tell me you've given the hardest day he's ever had. If you don't, I'm going to be very angry. So he'd ring me the next day. Done that, Col. Done that. Made his nose bleed. He's a good lad. Now tell me, what are you going to be? What do you mean? What are you going to be as a fighter? I'm going to be champion. You're going to be champion of what? I'm going to be the welterweight champion. Where? In the UFC? Well, tell me. So I made him then from every day tell me on the phone, shout at me on the phone, I'm going to be welterweight champion of the UFC.
Darren run up this incredible unbeaten record in Brazil. He was literally going from one side of the country to the next, taking on all comers, and he was getting them all out of there. With 3 weeks' notice, the UFC give him a call, and they say, we're short of a fighter in Brazil. For our Brazil event, we need you to step in.
At the time, Wendell had been contracted to the UFC and he was #1 in Brazil. I just fought in Brazil, in the south of Brazil. I just won a title there. So, you know, I was feeling good, and I knew straight away off that call that was it for me.
From Liverpool, England, fighting out of Santa Catarina, Brazil, Darren Till!
Not only did Darren come in and just absolutely handle the fight from start to finish.
He is eating, he's out.
He's out. Darren Till with the knockout courtesy of the elbow.
But then on the mic afterwards, just absolutely nailed the post-fight interview.
Eu falo português também. Eu já fiz monte de luta aqui em Brasil. Essa luta óbvio que tá no UFC, mais grande, mas é toda luta assim, tem que ganhar, tem que ficar invicto.
We look back now on Conor McGregor's career to that moment after his first UFC victory when he got on the microphone and he said,
Dana, 60 G's, baby!
Darren Till's moment was in Brazil. Darren Till's moment was when he stepped in at late notice and got the finish and got on the microphone and blew everybody's minds when he went from Scouse to Portuguese, or Scouseguese, I think they call it now.
I just want to say thank you to my coach back home, Colin Heron, and Team Carbon, and everyone, all my family and friends back home. And I want to say thank you to my coach Marcelo here, and all the guys in Brazil. E a galera que tá aqui hoje, obrigado, tá?
Social media just absolutely blew up. Suddenly Darren Till was trending worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Till!
I think everybody all of a sudden looked at him and went, we've got to keep an eye on this kid, he's going somewhere.
I know the only person who can take me to UFC Gold's Colin. A lot of people go for fight camps here and there to wherever for 6 months, 2 months, 3 months. I went for my fight camp for 4 years. It was time to come back, and I came back.
He got as much as he could get from Brazil. He'd grown, he'd matured.
Yeah.
That's what we know. He just needed me. We just needed to bring that partnership back. We're going to develop the rest of the game, get him up to scratch as quickly as we can, and then start making history.
Over his next 3 fights, he just looks so comfortable in there.
Beautiful uppercut from backhand. Oh, that left hand landed.
There are points in the fights where you can just tell that he understands range so well that he wants to play with them. He even allows them to catch him in the face a little bit because he knows that he's not getting the full extension of the punch.
I think a lot of fans could see the potential in him.
Oh! Stepping elbow! Beautiful work from Darren Till. He knows the finish is there.
But they were questioning whether he could finish fights, which is crazy because he's a natural born finisher.
He just enjoys the psychological battle, the ability to make a man flinch. He enjoys being a puppeteer.
What the UFC have seen is a guy that's got confidence. He can speak very well in 2 languages. He's very marketable, he's very, very talented. You look at a guy like that and you go, well, we need to elevate his status, we need to challenge him.
So if we want to see the best Darren Till, we need a big named opponent, someone who's going to make him rise to the occasion. Okay, at last, now I'll show you what I can do.
Welcome to the party, baby. Thanks for taking the fight. Appreciate it. Should be fun.
When he was announced that he was fighting Cowboy, I mean, a lot of people were expecting Darren Till to really perform on that night, and I mean, he absolutely delivered.
When the Cowboy fight was announced, I think most of the MMA media, certainly in the United States, saw him as a complete underdog. But I think here in the UK, we knew this was when he would arrive. Cowboy was made for Darren Till. Unfortunately, Cowboy was the last person to know that.
People were thinking it's too much for Darren, this Cerrone fight, and saying there's no way this cocky kid beats this guy who's a pioneer of the sport. So it's even better when you know what you know, and you know all these people are saying these things, but you know they're all going to eat the words.
Liverpool's Darren Till truly believes he will become the next English-born UFC champion.
When they stepped into the cage together, it all came crashing down like a ton of bricks on Donald Cerrone.
Darren Till was the much bigger fighter, not only physically, but energetically. His personality was much bigger than Cowboy's on that night. Cowboy in the opposite corner was looking across at Darren Till like the kid that was going to knock him off his throne.
There's no doubt in my mind it's going to be 1 round or 2 rounds, because we train specifically for 1 or 2 rounds. And we train specifically to damage his nose. He damaged every single nose. Every sparring partner who sparred in the gym had a broken nose. He's a nasty piece of work that enjoys hurting people.
To it first, you know, oh, look at that, beautiful work.
His confidence shone through him that night. He closed the Octagon down, forced him into a danger zone, and then switched him off.
There's a massive elbow there from Till. He's following up. It's a rally of punches here from Darren Till.
Cowboy's turned away from his opponent. My God, I was taking a look. What a stoppage!
Darren Till shocks the world.
Darren Till gets the opportunity and takes it with both hands.
It was satisfying as a coach to watch the kid embrace the moment.
After that, I just wanted to fight again against the best in the world, to see if I am one of the best in mixed martial arts. So I thought, maybe I should campaign for UFC Liverpool. When you look up in the clouds, who's going to tell you no?
It was that moment, that performance against Cerrone, against Cowboy, where Dana White and everyone at the UFC went, this is it, this is the time, let's do it.
You can ask any of my guys here, any of the matchmakers, whatever. I've been high on Till for a while, but I really found out when he fought Cowboy Cerrone. When I saw the way Till handled him, I said, I think this guy's ready for bigger and better things.
Yes! Make some noise, Darren Till!
Well, Darren, obviously we're just finding out that you're going to be on this card. It's going to be in Liverpool. The obvious question is, who's going to be on the other side of the cage?
Wonderboy. I consider Wonderboy one of the best strikers in the UFC, and I want to see if my striking can outstrike his striking. You know, he comes from karate, I come from Muay Thai, and I know I can outsmart him. I know I can knock him out. I know that.
Liverpool is exactly what I wanted. I wanted Till in a great fight in Liverpool.
I'm excited to come to Liverpool. I know I'll be in enemy territory. The fans there are very passionate about their fighters, but I'm excited, man. Let's go.
This is a big fight. This is an important fight. Anytime a guy doesn't make weight, especially in his hometown, it sucks. He has to weigh 188 pounds tomorrow at 1 o'clock. If he had made the weight, he could eat, rest, relax, and now he's got to make sure he doesn't get too heavy.
When I started cutting weight, I got an emergency call with a family matter. There's never no excuse for not making weight, so I'm truly embarrassed by that, but the fight's still on and we're gonna go for it.
In 2014, the UFC had the right superstar to go to Dublin. It was Conor McGregor. In 2018, they've got it again in Darren Till.
The Irish and the Liverpool people are very similar. If there's a bit of hope they can take or inspiration, they're all in and they'll get behind their athletes, their fighters. That's what happened with Conor. He brought hope to a nation. They got this new star, this new person that's come from where we've come from. Look what he's achieved and let's get behind him. We can compare that definitely what's happening with Darren. The only difference is Darren's a lot better.
Dana White is always searching for that Conor McGregor in Dublin or that Anderson Silva in Rio. He's looking for that walkout, that big star that's going to walk out in their hometown and make the UFC take off like a rocket.
What a moment for the 25-year-old Scouser.
Look how he's commanding this arena right now. He's brought the UFC to Liverpool, to the Echo Arena. Now he's walking up. Listen to this.
This is the main event of the evening. All that's left is the fight, ladies and gentlemen. Spinning attempt from Till.
Go, Darren, let's go. Beautiful head kick. So fast from Wonderboy. Nice lead leg chops there from Till. Forces Wonderboy to switch stance.
There's the big left thrown from Till. Double jab, backs up Wonderboy. And Till has it back on the fence, a big left hand! There it is, Till is on top and trying to hammer away on Wonderboy. The screws holding this building together are loosening at the moment. This crowd is ready to erupt. Each content to let the judges have it in the final seconds. For the winner, by unanimous decision, Darren the Gorilla Till! For them doubters, yes! Saying what now? Now!
Who does the Gorilla want next?
I don't care. I'm not scared of anyone. The chosen one!
When I'm faced with a line that want to take my belt, it's game time.
Oh, attack! Big shot! Tyron Woodley is the new UFC Welterweight Champion of the world! But Tyron Woodley has never doubted his skills, and he has no doubt in his mind that he'll walk back out of the Octagon with that belt wrapped around his waist.
I put everything for this belt. He want to come and get it.
Oh, big time right there! Just what we were talking about.
He's incredibly strong and he's very fast.
Attack down for Woodley!
Tyron Woodley, ladies and gentlemen.
Knocked down for Woodley.
Everybody think they want something until they lock that Octagon, and he gonna see it.
Darren, tell me, you know, he's defended the belt so many times, he's beaten the best in the division. Why are you the guy to take the belt off him?
So I'm the best welterweight in the division.
You're not the best in the division. You didn't even win your last fight against Wonderboy, and you didn't even make weight, so...
Okay, don't you worry about that. Is that your only concern? You need to be concerned about me
I have no concern.
cleaning your chin out.
I have no concern.
We just had the stare down, Darren. What did you see when you looked in his eyes for the first time?
I always tell the truth, no fear. He's not scared, nothing like that, you know. He's the champion, you know, respect is the champion, but that doesn't change anything. You know, I'm still coming to knock him clean out on September 8th.
He's a good champion. He's not scared of any man. I just feel like he's a bit doubtful fighting me.
Till has him back on the fence, a big left hand. There it is, Till is on top.
Whenever he's fought a guy who's a good striker, he hasn't fought a guy with power and intelligence, and I've got them factors, I know I have. So, you know, I can stalk him around the octagon, but he knows I can hurt him with shots, any shots.
Oh! Stepping elbow!
For me, I just like his fight style. I like the way he's confident. You can look at him, you can see when I look at him, I say, we're about to fight. And I love that type of fight. That makes me want to train harder. That makes me want to put in the extra on.
At the start, I don't think he respected me like he does now. Seeing the way I speak, the way I carry myself, I think a lot more respect has been gained from his side.
Woodley looking to finish. It is all over.
I've grappled everybody. I've knocked everybody out. I wrestled everybody. I grinded everybody. I decisioned everybody. Anything you could do in the sport, I've done. He's only outstruck the striker. He's only outstruck the grappler. He's never fought a fighter like me. Yeah, he's hungry. Yeah, he's confident. That ain't enough though. You know, you gotta have skill behind that. You gotta have some adversity behind that. You gotta have some actual ability to get the job done. And I got more of everything.
I'm just an unusual guy, as I say. They don't make Darren Tills. They just made one. I'm not like any other fighter. The way I think, the way I talk, the way I train, just the way I handle a fighter's life. I know I'm different. I've just been here, there, everywhere. I'm sort of like a mutt when it comes to fighting in other countries. So 7th fight, it's only right that it was in America, winning the belt, because after that it's off to Vegas to defend it, and then my rise as a middleweight will start.
Darren, the Gorilla Till!
I'm a happy man when I'm walking onto that octagon. I like fighting. My struggles are all outside the octagon, making weight, training hard, dealing with stuff outside the gym.
We know he's got what it takes to be a star because he's already a star, and that's how he's got UFC Liverpool. If he's got the ingredients to be a UFC champion, then he's going to have to win on the night.
He believes 100% that he's going to be a world champion.
I'm pure striker, like pure. If I'm throwing a shot, I'm throwing it to take your lights out.
I've watched him, and there's nothing he's going to do that surprises me. Name me one fight I've lost that somebody came and put the heat on me. Everybody that's tried got knocked out. I'm gonna knock him out, and I'm supposed to knock him out. I'm the best welterweight alive, and I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to have dominant fights, dominant performances. Nothing's gonna change September 8th.
He's got to come at everything he's got. I need the best Tyron Woodley on that night. I want the best Tyron Woodley, because that's the guy I'm gonna beat.